said hello, friends.
Hello, friends. We are all back.
Friends.
It is Wednesday. And we are now joined with the whole squad. Introduce yourself.
Hey, guys. I am
Oh
back.
my god.
Tracy, baby.
Oh, yeah. Back from a long vacation. I'm so happy to be back.
You're so missed, man.
Oh, thank you. I was wondering if you guys missed me or not.
Yeah, she came with the big hugs. She was like, oh, I just feel like giving you a hug. I haven't seen you in so long.
I thought you went to Jamaica again.
No.
She
Where
went.
did you go?
She went far.
I went to San Francisco, to Napa, to New Jersey, and New
Napa?
York. Yeah.
Napa Auto Parts?
No.
Oh my
Napa
God.
Valley in California.
Did you take a cruise or something? Or
No,
How much flights or not?
I took maybe like 2 connecting flights and a private jet.
A private
I
jet.
did.
Oh,
I
private.
did.
All right. Oh my god.
Yeah, I have a video of that. Unfortunately, I could not film inside because there were other people in there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know what it is.
So I do have like a little video of like approaching the jet and walking inside, but then as soon as I got inside, I had to cut it off.
Listen,
So
if you went in a G5 or a G7, I'm gonna be so upset.
I went in a G4.
Still good. Oh.
And earlier this year, I went in a something
Where do
300,
you work?
Challenger 300,
Where do you work?
basic.
Trying to get
I don't know.
know.
I'm
She
honestly,
just manages her money properly.
Well,
honestly,
Do you know
guys.
how much a private jet is just a charter?
Hungry
Wendy
millennials hashtag. All right, so get on it.
Okay.
Try to
What?
find out
Hold
what
up,
it is.
Hold up.
you heard correctly.
To charter a private jet, just for one trip.
Latrice, who
What?
your friends are?
Good people.
Good
That's
people.
crazy. I'm trying to meet your friends.
Trying to meet
Your
your friends.
Hey,
Hello,
hey, I'm
Tracy
in the same
friends,
age
you
group as
know.
you, so let me holler at your friends
You know,
real
I'm good
quick.
at video
Guys,
games, you can sign me.
there's memberships, there's stuff. Off the air, we can connect about this
Okay,
stuff,
all
all
right.
right?
Yeah, we
I
gonna
don't want to
connect.
give out all of
We
the
gonna
trades
connect.
of the secrets.
And I'm gonna get some
or
connecting
secrets of the
flights.
trade.
You right?
You right?
right.
Okay. So Latrice is back. All right. Also, we also have who we have in here, man.
Mom
Who we,
Mason is
Mom
back.
Mason,
Mason
welcome
is
back,
back.
man. You weren't here last week.
Yeah, I had to babysit.
no, you
Yeah.
liar. You
Yeah,
lying.
babysit.
He out here lying.
Babysit.
Nah, he out here lying. Cause you said
Babysit.
your alarm didn't go off.
What?
You out here lying.
Yeah, my alarm didn't go on while babysit, you know.
Oh, that's
You know, I took a
crazy.
nap.
You are so
No,
wild
what
right
you
now.
talking about?
Who you babysitting, Empress?
My bro. That's my cat, y'all. Leave Empress out of this. Leave my cat alone. I love her. I had
It's
to
alright.
babysit my
It's
little
alright.
brother.
Okay.
Mature duties, grown duties.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very rebel.
Rebel?
He's
Okay.
a rebel.
Oh, by the way, I saw llamas.
Llamas.
I
Fortnite?
saw llamas and seals. Big. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Fortnite.
No.
You know, you find a llama.
No.
The best thing in Fortnite. Anyways, so as y'all can hear in the background, we are playing some X sad instrumental, and unfortunately it is a sad time right now, considering the fact that unfortunately he was shot in Miami leaving a motorcycle dealership. Such a sad situation, but we just wanted to express our condolences. And Latrice has some input on this whole
First of
situation.
all, before you get into it, because I feel
Alright.
like you're gonna just go in.
All right. All right.
What I want to say is this, all right?
Okay.
Everybody knows that X had a past. I'm gonna bring this down real quick so I can talk to y'all. All right, so everybody has a past. All right, X has a past, and everybody knows about it. Everybody knows who he was, and everybody knows that, or at least everybody knew about it. But some people didn't want to acknowledge that he was trying to change. He was actively trying to change. Everybody will always hold your past against you, especially when you have that type of platform where you have millions upon millions of fans. Everybody will. Classic example, Chris Brown. Okay, Chris Brown and Rihanna got into that little
Still
issue.
haven't been revived.
That from like 2000 and what?
I think it was like 10,
2010, 2011, other years ago. Him and Rihanna have already hashed it out. Why can't everybody else? You know what I mean? Obviously, he still had issues occurring. It's not been as frequent. I don't even say like I'm not even gonna try and make any excuses for that, because we don't abuse women around here. You know what I'm saying? If you abuse women, you're a waste man. Real. I wanna say what I wanna say on air, but I can't, because I'm gonna get fined. And I'm not trying to get fined. You feel me? But what I'm trying to say is that we should not hold these people's past against them, especially if they're actively trying to change. You know, if they keep falling back into the same habits and patterns, then yes, by all means, hold their past against them, because their past is still their present. You know what I mean? But if they're trying to put their past behind them, and one thing I liked about him, right, that I saw so many videos of him saying so many positive things to his fans. It's like, whatever they say about me, whatever this, whatever that, I want you guys to live a good life. I want you guys to make something out of your life. You know what I'm saying? And I really like that. And once again, you know, he had a past. Everybody has a past. No past is like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that one person's wrongdoings is greater than another person's. You know what I'm saying? All sin is equal. You feel me? Like, you rob a bank, you just as bad as somebody.
You get money.
What?
What?
He says I get money.
Anyway, if you commit a crime, you're the same as somebody who is an abuser, because you've done something wrong. Wrong is wrong. There's no, I don't feel like there's levels of wrong. Wrong is wrong. You know what I mean? So, anyway, that's all I had to say. Before you get into what you got to say, though, we're going to take a quick break.
Good.
And also, guys, the phone lines are open. This is of course, an open discussion.
So if you want to join in the conversation, we're going to play one song. We're going to play Josh Pearl, Emotional, real quick, 3 minutes. We're going to be back in 3 minutes, guys. So if you want to join in the conversation, we're going to talk about some topics and whatnot, and y'all can just join in. All right, so we'll see y'all in like 3 minutes. Y'all keep it locked. Or maybe 4. Yeah, 4 minutes. So come back in 4 minutes. Come back at 8 o'clock. Top of the hour, all right? Y'all keep it locked, man. It's 7:56.
Hello, friends. My name is Solveig. This is my associate, Bob.
So, of course, like we were just saying, the lines are open. The number is
943-3700.
All right, and this is an open discussion. All right, Latrice.
But
Tracy, baby.
First of all, what is the topic of discussion? What is the topic of discussion?
What is the topic?
Let's not make it about X himself.
Yes.
But let's make it about the situation. What is the topic about? Is it about having a past? Is it about because you know the stuff that's coming up against him is being said that he abused his ex-girlfriend. It's being said that he was homophobic as well. That he actually beat up somebody in prison. He actually said that himself. For that he said he beat up somebody because he thought he was gay or something like that.
I mean,
in living in the Caribbean,
if you in prison and somebody trying to make a move on you, what would you do?
Anyway, what is the topic of discussion? Because I want to set the ground rules. You know, especially when somebody calls in and they want to talk about something, we need to have something for them to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you guys to just be like rambling on about foolishness.
And they slander an ex or whatever. That's not what our intentions are here.
You're trying to slander people.
And please, if you're gonna call it, no profanity.
Please, if you curse, we will drop the call and you will be off the air.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. Let's bring it up for discussion. Does your past affect your future? Does your past affect your present? And should your past be held against you going forward, especially if you're trying to make progress to get over or leave behind your past? So call in, let us know what you think. 943-3700. Call us right now. Join in the conversation, man. So Latrice, you had some stuff that you wanted to say?
And I do just want to put a disclaimer that these views are 100% my views. They're not associated with the radio station, or nobody else here has to agree with me. So what is his name? xxxtentacion?
xxxtentacion.
Okay, so
Just call him X.
So X. I have heard of his name before. I've seen him on social media, but I have never actually listened to his songs. So I guess I cannot actually judge him as an artist. But what I did do was I read up on his timeline from when he first released some music to his, rise to fame and where he was now. Now, throughout his life, we know that he was involved in violence.
Yeah.
All right, so he had obviously a violent background, a violent childhood, whether he was fighting in jail or fighting wherever. But it really struck me to know that he had a pending and ongoing domestic violent case against his ex-pregnant girlfriend. I actually dug in a little bit deeper to find out more about her and this specific case. And basically, this was not a one-time occurrence. It was an ongoing occurrence throughout his career. So for a person of his stature, whatever it may be, but you're in the hip-hop realm and all of these younger kids are looking up to you, but at home, this is what you're doing. So now that everything's out there, just like, you know, the Drake issue, everything's out there. Of course, if you're going to be an artist, everything's going to be out there. But they're still kind of like brushing it aside. So I almost feel as if his death was his, whatever, quote unquote, his sacrifice. And this may be a conspiracy, but I think that either he set up his own death because he actually went onto Snapchat before he died and was talking about how he wants everybody, all of his fans, to be better, and that he thinks he may die as a sacrifice, and then it happened. Right? And one of the big things that came up with his death is that he was shot, but there was no blood. So he probably could have taken like some sort of medication or something to prevent the blood. Anyways, that's just what I thought. And then
there was no blood?
That's what I kept seeing in reports on his death.
The reason why is because the weapon that was used, the blood doesn't come out through where it impacted him, it comes out where it comes out of him. So where he was shot, I was told, it's the chest and the neck. So if it goes through the neck, it's going to bleed through the back.
Because, guys, you remember when Jesus died? There was no blood. It was water.
What?
What?
I know what she's
I
talking
did
about.
not know.
The sacrifice?
When they pierced his side, when he died,
there was no blood.
No blood came out.
Okay.
It was
So this is
because he the living water, fam.
so this is where it takes a turn. That all this time, you know, he's taught. I don't want to. I can't quote everything because I've only like read up on this once I found out about this artist's death. But it's just a connection there. Like, why was he always talking about himself being a sacrifice? Was when he in that mental state of abuse, was he sacrificing that girl all those years? Or whenever he was fighting, does he associate pain or that control with sacrifice or being a god or be like, that's what I don't get, the mental state of the artist.
Okay.
Because if you're going through all this stuff and you're going into jail or going to prison, that's going to be your life sentence because you have all these charges against you. He probably would rather die than go to jail. Or, I forget my point right there, but, or he has to claim mentally, you know, go into mental court and not, so that he does not get charged and do not get the bigger sentence. So those are the things that I just want to say.
Okay. Well, I read in a few places that his ex-girlfriend came out saying that those were false accusations. She's right now being charged, apparently, for those false accusations.
I don't think they're false accusations because there were documents which I don't remember what it's called, but it's the documents where you have to sign to say you want to retract everything. And X was being charged of fraudulent, like, you know, messing with the witness. Because when you're in that kind of court, although you are a victim, you're being seen as a witness and nobody wants to be called a victim in court. They call you a witness. So she was retracting her witness so that you never know what kind of sentences or what kind of threats he was giving her, because in her statement she said that he basically threatened to kill her every day just for singing the lines of some other guy in his song, just for like looking at someone. Like, what sort of mental state do you honestly have to be in just for saying something. He threatened to cut off her tongue.
Yeah.
You think that's okay?
No. Definitely not.
Okay. And there's nothing okay with domestic abuse. Nothing at all.
Sure.
And any female out there who is involved in a domestic situation, there is a way out, and you do not have to be in that situation. This girl was, at some point, he and his friends literally took her after beating her and locked her in a room for 2 days without communication, without any way out. And at some point, she had to get out.
Mm-hmm.
She said that her escape was that she was, I guess he got her back or something, and she was in the room with him, and she told him he was going to go into the kitchen to make him some food. She opened the fridge wide enough so that he can't see whether she's stooping down or doing whatever, and with keeping that refrigerator door open, she snuck out of that house, and that's how she got help. You know, it doesn't have to be that bad to try to get away from someone. It doesn't have to go that far.
It's true. That's very true. That is
You
very
know?
true.
And that's what is, like, you're not, like, people, yes, you may be a fan of this guy, but he's also a person. He's not your savior. He's not gonna save you, and he's dead now. So what is he gonna do for you, and what has he ever done for you? Nothing. So if you are a fan of people who do this, then shame on you. Shame on you. Because all you're looking at is like, oh yeah, he makes good music. Yeah, there are so many other artists who make music with substance. And yes, he was on this whole depression and like, okay, yeah, I'm sad or I'm in love. Yeah, we all are. We all are. But he's nobody special. Is he special because he has all these tattoos on his face? Or what is so special about this guy?
Well,
What is his branding? What? Are you gonna defend him?
Not really. Well, in that term, when what you just said, what he did do was bring down the suicide rate exponentially, actually, to his music, because he relates in terms of depression. He spoke to people, and that's what I can defend him on. Can't really defend him on the whole abuse thing. Of course, like you just said, that's wrong. It's wrong in every way. So, yeah.
Well, kudos to him on that part.
I'm gonna just say this too. You know, I hear everything that you're saying. You know, because I have people in my life who, you know, they've gone through domestic situations where they were abused. You know, and like I said earlier before when I was talking about this, you know, any man who puts his hands on a woman to harm her for no reason whatsoever except for the fact that you're just gonna harm her, that's wrong. And I'm not gonna say that you don't deserve to live, but that is just something that's inexcusable. You know what I mean? Now, again, when I said earlier that he was trying to turn his life around and that we shouldn't hold people's past against them, I still stand by that. And once again, I'm not gonna defend them at all. I don't defend anybody who has gone through this stuff and like they really that I don't defend
And it's not a
abusers,
fight. It's not
you
a
know?
fight. There's no
It's
fight.
not. It's not. And I think that we should always try to separate. Excuse me. Sorry. We should always try to separate the person from the music because I mean, perfect example. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby did so many amazing things for so many years in so many homes in America. And what did he end up doing in the end? He was a woman abuser. He did all of those things. So like, you know,
Don't
you know, you know, like he just Mason, you got some.
No, never mind.
Okay.
Oh, just shoot a shot. Okay.
You know, he was this icon, just like X was to so many people. Okay, imagine this. Bill Cosby was basically, he was one of those people on television that helped to, I guess, shape what the black family should look like. He shaped the black family identity. Everybody wanted to be like Heathcliff and have a Claire in their life. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to be like the Huxtables. Everybody wanted to be like the Winslows, Family Matters. Everybody wanted to be like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. How that those are the types of things that shape the culture. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that's why I'm saying we have to separate the person from the art, because a lot of times their art doesn't represent who they are truly. It might be them trying to, I mean, you know, like, you understand what I'm trying to say? Because Bill Cosby, once again, I'm just using him as an example because he's going on through all of those things, and all those other people in Hollywood who, they're artists, but at the same time, they took advantage of women and they did all of these other things, and now they have to pay for it. Now, I'm not saying that, and I said this on Twitter too, like, nobody needs to die for that type of thing. If you did something wrong, you need to pay for it the right way. If he did do what he did, then X needed to go to prison the right way. He did not need to get shot. You know what I mean? But he's dead now, and now, you know, there's nothing left. We can sit here and appreciate his music, but there's just and there's certain parts of a person that you will always be able to appreciate, but as a whole, like, you have to look at them in the good and the bad. You know what I mean? And speaking of good and bad, we're gonna get into some music right now. We're gonna take a break. You know, this conversation is getting really, really juicy. You know what I'm saying? When we get back, you can give your points. Mason, if you have anything to say on this, you can give your points as well. He's shaking his head, but that's okay. But anyways, man, y'all keep it locked, man. It's a 345 Mixtape Show. I'ma just go right now.
You're not done on my
Put me on the. Okay.
I'ma just go right
Hello, guys. We are back.
Hello, friends. I give friend an intro. Okay, guys. So we have Killshot Mali here. He is a very good expert.
Can we take this seriously for like 2 seconds?
Yeah, we're taking this seriously, man.
Not for real, but alright.
Oh my god.
We got KG Mali on right now. He's an big X fan here, so he comes with all the facts because I don't have any. So he's substituting for me.
He tag you out? Okay. Listen, alright. Ground rules. Okay. Whenever somebody's talking, just like with the Beyonce Michael Jackson debate,
he left them.
That still wasn't resolved, but yes.
That's okay. Some things are just not meant to be resolved for now. We're gonna if somebody's talking, you let them talk, you let them finish. Okay. Now there's a time limit. You get 2 minutes. All right. So you get 2 minutes to talk.
Mine wasn't
just whatever we're talking about. We're talking.
2 minutes. I thought it'd been like a box.
No, but but like if somebody, for example, right? If I'm presenting what I have to say.
All right, explain.
I have 2 minutes to talk. So okay, for example.
It's like a court case.
Yeah. So like okay, let me say this then.
All right, get on, Jerry.
What?
Get it on.
I'm going. Y'all not letting me go.
You know, we get it.
We got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my point before the break, my point was gonna be, yes, he had a bad past, and we also have to think about the past behind that past, which was the way in which he grew up. Like, he had a lot of trouble, of course. His mom wasn't really in his life. His mom couldn't take care of him. He went through foster care a few times.
No, it wasn't even foster care.
It was what was it again?
He had to go through various family members.
Yeah, and of course that's gonna have a negative impact mentally. And I'm not trying to say that it was okay for him to do this, but that is, I guess, his way of handling. If he did do it, I'm not gonna say that for sure that's what he did, because there's 2 different sides to the story, of course. And we also have to reflect on the fact of what he tried to do, regardless of his past. Like, when he started to mature, he's, you know, spreading positive messages, being a great influence, not only through music, but as a person. And like you highlighted earlier, he was, you know, posting on his social media saying, okay, don't allow depression to, like, control you. Try to find the positive and the negative, that kind of stuff, you know, being an actual role model, because he was starting to, you know, become a more mature individual. And that stuff that Latrice was talking about happened more when he was young, and he was still going through all of those problems.
He's only 20, he's still young.
Yeah, exactly. And those things were happening more when he was like 16, 17 kind of thing.
Okay.
So he's not in the right mental state. He's on the verge of, I guess you could say puberty. That's there. That's kind of, you know, throwing off the balance. And I mean, like, considering his past, the emotions, that kind of stuff. And my point is that he was maturing. He was trying to do better, regardless of his past. Yes, the past is there, but he was trying to put forth a positive image when he started to mature.
I don't think that age has anything to do with it, because you could be 30 years old and still be doing the same crap. I think that, like you said, he was a product of his environment. The way he grew up, his surroundings, all of that attributed to his behaviors. Now, what I don't want is, or rather what I would not want, is for people to see his past behavior, and then, you know, try to justify that, okay, that's how he dealt with it, and then other people will say, oh, well, you know, I'm going through the same thing, so that's how I'm going to deal with it too, because X did it.
Sorry.
No,
by all means, I'm not trying to say that.
No, Deontay, I'm not, bro, I'm not.
Just
I'm
gotta
not,
clarify.
yeah.
Just gotta clarify.
I know, man.
For
I'm
people
not,
that don't understand.
yeah, I know that, you know, you're not trying to say
Yeah.
it, but that's the thing that came to my mind, you know what I'm saying? So, and I understand that he was trying to put forward a positive message, you know, like I was saying. He said that no matter what people say about me, I want you guys to live positively, you know, always like I was watching this, I think it was a video that I can't remember if it was you who sent it in the group chat or something, but I saw a video of him somewhere where he was actually at a concert, and he was like, yo, you need to have faith in yourself, you need to believe in yourself, you can do whatever you want to do, you know, don't let anybody put you down, you know, and he acknowledged that, you know, just because he said in the video, he's like, oh, you know, I know and I respect anybody who, you know, they believe in their religious figures or whatever, but you always have to believe in yourself, you know, you can't let anybody tell you that you cannot achieve what you want to achieve, you know, and I respected that, you know what I'm saying, but what I need from him, you know, is, well, needed, and from people in his position where they have a past and it's being held against them, and they're trying to put forward a positive message, you know, always let your life reflects what you're trying to say, because if it does not reflect what you're trying to say, you're a hypocrite, because you're like, how am I supposed to believe what you say if you're doing the same thing, the opposite of what you say I should do? What makes you any different from me? If anything, you should be more so holding yourself to a standard, because you are in the front of all these millions of people. I'm just in the front of my family. That's like 2 or 3 people. You know what I mean? So yeah, Mali, what you got to say, man?
I mean, I wasn't really listening to the show earlier, but yeah, I mean, I was in a secluded room listening into some old X songs, but you know, I was hearing about I don't want to say accusations, because it did happen, but I was hearing that it was brought up about him beating his girlfriend, or basically his whole past. And I just wanted to bring some clarification to the past itself. And I wanted to say that, well, for one, the situation with him and his girlfriend. Yes, Tracy, you have a point. He could have, or his manager, or whoever he could have hired to frighten her or threaten her to say this and that is not real. But X did come out to say, and she herself did come out to say, that it isn't real, and X has been pleading not guilty this whole time. And like Jerry was saying, why try to say that you're not a person that you are, when in reality you are, and you're trying to tell people to not be this type of person, as in being a hypocrite. And I personally don't see X, or Jase is his real name, as a hypocrite. And to be honest, the situation with the girlfriend, or the ex-girlfriend, it was really messed up, because she didn't come out to speak on any of this stuff until he started coming up in his music, or he started becoming known as a SoundCloud artist. And it became very fishy in that area. Yes, he did hit her. It's no question. But she did something to provoke him. She's done more than enough things to provoke him. I mean, I'm not saying this as in it's right to hit anyone at all, regardless of the gender, because I hate when people say, oh, you can't hit a girl because she's a girl. No. If you hit me, I'm going to hit you if you're a girl, whether or not. But,
We do not promote violence on this radio station.
Just a quick disclaimer.
Nah, for real though. Let me say this. Do not promote violence on this radio station. The best way to resolve any situation, once again, wow, literally.
No fights.
Walk away from a situation if you're about to get into physical altercation. You need to walk away, and you need to find help. You know what I'm saying?
If you have to defend yourself,
if you have
if
to
there's
defend,
no help,
if you have to defend yourself,
defend
that's
yourself.
a different. That's
Yes.
a different. Like if,
Yes.
but like if somebody's coming at you with fists and stuff, you can walk away and you can actually get in your car and
That's-
leave or something. You leave. But if they're coming at you with like a knife or something and you actually need to defend yourself, self-defense is a totally different
thing from
than just engaging
into
in something that
violence,
you can actually walk away from and you can actually cut that person off or get in somebody like X's status's case. I don't know when it happened or like you know the point in his career that it happened. I don't know if he had security or if he had people around him that if she was doing stuff to provoke him, that they could have removed her away from him around if they were in the vicinity at the time. And even if they weren't, if she was doing stuff to provoke him, he could have walked away.
none of these things happened when he was...
No, but that's not the...
when he was known. No, just to clarify that, none of these things happened when he was known.
Yeah,
These are all past things that she's bringing up,
But that's-
whether they were
but-
true or they were not.
but that's
No,
what I'm saying.
but look, this is the thing. She did provoke him, as in hitting him, and no one ever acknowledged that because they just, as the world does, or as people view it, once you hit a girl, oh, you're a bad person, and you shouldn't hit a girl, and this and that. So everyone did acknowledge that he hit the girl, but no one did acknowledge that she did hit him, or she did emotionally abuse him, because she would post up on Snapchat with other guys and she would say things that like would tick him off, and she knows personally that it would tick him off. So why that's emotionally provoking someone? Yes, it's completely not right to take your anger or your stress or anything out on someone else or any individual, but
What I do have to say is that no matter whatever you say on social media versus your personal relationship, I think that those are, yes, you are a person and you will say things in person and on social media. That does not give another human being the right to hit another human being. And it doesn't matter whether she said what she said when he rose or maybe before he was famous, because this court case has been happening since 2016. And there are records of the different things that happened and the different witnesses that were around. And what happens in many domestic violence cases is that when there are witnesses, well, actually, a lot of the domestic violence does not happen in front of people. What happens is that other witnesses see the aftermath of the problem. And what actually happened in a lot of cases, or the multiple times that he hit her, or in any situation like this, what happens is that people around the victim goes to the cops. And what happens is that the victim, whether influenced by the abuser, they always try to retract the statement because of love and try to retract the case. And at this point, this is where this case was. The case was going under investigation because she was retracting everything. So it doesn't matter whether it was his manager or if it was him or whoever influenced her to retract it. The fact of the matter that it was out there and it's being retracted and it was being investigated. And so, in which the conspiracy lies, did he set up his own death? Or was it somebody on her side who killed him? And that's where I want to know. I don't know.
Well, I think that you know,
his death, to me, sorry, his
ahead.
death had nothing to do with her
Yeah, I don't think it had
or
anything
anything.
to do
It was
with
it's actually being said now that the death was supposed to be a robbery. There was actually a witness to that situation, but to also I want to address is that the incident with him being in the I want to say we call it boys' home here. They call it penitentiary up there. But he was actually, once again, Jase was a completely he was I don't know him personally, but from his past he was a complete violence kid. Like, he grew up around violence. He became violent. Even in primary school, he hit other kids when they would say things to him and so forth. So yes, it's possible that everything they said about him is true, but then again, it's not, because no one knows for sure. Like you said, domestic violence happens when no one is around. So there really isn't anyone there to say this happened or that happened.
But the people who the girlfriend went to, because what tends to happen in domestic violence is that it happens, right? Once it happens, they go seek for help, and then they come back into the relationship. They go through a honeymoon phase where it's like, okay, everything's going to be fine, everything's going to be okay, and then it happens right over again. So what happens is you go through this entire cycle because you're so used to the pain and the struggle and whatnot, and you settle with this is just what the relationship is. And I just want to conclude on my end. I don't know if you guys want to continue, but ladies or guys, because guys do go through mental and physical abuse as well, there are ways to get out of it, and I just want to give you a few tips. First of all, save some money. It doesn't matter how much money you save up. Choose a place, and it could be a family member or just maybe off island. Choose a place that you can go and you can afford to go, and don't tell family members or any person who has a close relationship with your significant other. Choose someone that you trust who would not tell that person, and go to your safe place and get the help, whether you do want to take the problem to court or if you want to just settle the matter. Just ensure that you are surrounded by supportive people once you are out of the relationship. And the hardest thing to do is when your significant other is trying to get you back into their life. Do not fall into the trap, because you will just stay in a cycle. Yep. So that's all I want to say on that end for domestic abuse.
And I just want to, because we got to wrap up a little bit soon, you know what I'm saying? It's 8:41 on this end. But I just will say this too. There's never any excuse for domestic violence. Whether it has happened in your past. Like I said before, if you're actively trying to change, you need to let your lifestyle match back to what you're trying to tell other people not to do and to do. So, like, if you're trying to tell people that they should be positive and try to find the positive in the negative, then you yourself need to find the positive in the negative. You yourself need to hold yourself to the standard that you tell people that they should lift themselves up to. You feel me? So if I'm telling people out there that they shouldn't go through self-harm or anything like that, because that's not okay. And if you're going through that as well, you know what I'm saying, that's also another issue, that there are people out there who can help you. Don't just keep this to yourself. Open up to somebody that you can trust and get the help that you need. But if I'm going through stuff like that and I'm trying to tell people that they need to seek help, but I'm not seeking help myself, like, what is the point? Because, like, if I'm not doing what I'm telling you to do, and you find out that I'm not doing it, then that might make other people not want to do it, because it's like, oh, well, the person that I hold on this high pedestal, this artist who has millions and upon millions of fans all around the world, is telling me to do this, but he's not doing it himself. Like, then what sense does it make? You understand what I'm saying? So, like, none of us know what was really going on with X and his whole situation. All we know is what has been put out there in the media, what has been put out there in the judicial system, what he has said, what his ex has said, what everybody else has said. That's all we know, and that's all we can go based off of. People will say this, people will say that, but one thing that I do know is that as an artist, X was next level. He was definitely one of those artists that he could impact
the hip-hop
he
culture.
could impact the generation. You know, as an artist, he was definitely that person. I'm not. That's why I say sometimes we need to separate the artist from the person, because as an artist, he was just next level. As a person, he needed to sort some things out and get himself settled down, so that when he does take the stage and when he does say the things that he said, then he could actually like make a bigger impact. You know what I'm saying? Because his music was already making a big impact. So now his life and his actions needed to back that up. You know what I'm saying? So it can make an even bigger impact. And that's what I want from any artist out there that has a stage that you have impact and influence over people. When you have mass influence like that, you need to be careful with it and you need to manage it properly. You feel me? So that is all I'm gonna say on that, and that's all we really have time for. I know everybody wants to say a lot more, but we got to get into some music real quick. Again, we'll come back and do our close off. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we're going to play one song. We got Zen Retro, January 29th. Man, y'all keep it live. It's the 345 Mixtape Show.
You just said Retro John.
Go ahead. I'm going to say it again. So, as an artist, X was definitely next level. You know, because all these other artists in the industry, J. Cole, Kanye West, Big Sean, you name it. Post Malone, I think, even said something. Everybody around the industry was just reacting because they were shocked because this kid had talent. As an artist, this kid was mad talented, man. But in his life, I feel like, you know, he just needed to sort some things out. You know,
Everyone has skeletons in their closets, and it sucks that X wouldn't speak on behalf of the skeletons in his closet, and because of the fact that he knew he did some things, and he knew he didn't do certain things, but it's just that the facts weren't there to help his.
I feel like, hold on, before you drop that theory, I feel like if he had spoken on the things that he actually did do, like if he said a video, if he went on Snapchat or Instagram and just did a video and be like, yo,
or even a documentary.
Yeah, if he did something on camera where he just documented that, like, okay, yo, I did this and I did this.
Or
I'm not
going
gonna
through
deny
these
that.
court cases.
I'm going through this. I did this. I
No,
hit
he
her.
did speak on the court cases.
Did he say that he hit her?
He said he did not hit her. He said he did. He's like, she's lying. He went in the live stream saying she's
Dude,
lying.
before they go into judge or before they go into court, when they are by themselves, they could come and just be like, look, just say no. Just say no. And they could just come up with the same story. Even though she could probably have been sitting there with two black guys and she was gonna say no. She was gonna say no because he asked her to. I'm telling you because it happens all the time. It happens all the time.
It's not a irregular occurrence. It can happen.
This situation is only bringing domestic violence to the forefront so that the hip hop culture can look at it, because this guy was bringing up the next generation and creating his own culture. And the short in it is that the word cult comes into culture. And if he had continued doing what he was gonna do, like you said, how many other people were gonna follow behind him? How do you?
That's not what he was bringing his.
But
history
when
on.
he
that doesn't matter.
It's his history, yeah. But if you see X fans, no one looks at it. They completely defend him. If he's wrong, they will say he's wrong.
But nobody's saying that he's wrong.
No, of
That's
course
the
his
point.
X fans have declared whether or not if he's wrong or not. They've brought. It's because of most of these X fans is why I've been able to learn so much more on him. I personally didn't even know that X actually had to go to a detention center because of him fighting not fighting but hitting a certain person in the crowd. I didn't even know. Like, he went to the detention center. He actually volunteered himself to go before the actual fight between him and his girlfriend. I didn't know these things. But it's because of his fans that were there to clarify all of the rumors that were on there.
Tell Mason and them.
Mason and them.
I wish they could hear us. But I don't feel like continuing, just really close it
No,
up.
we don't have to. We're not going to actually. We're done with this now. We're just gonna wrap up and then
He's gone, man. Let's just make his memory.
Yo.
Testing.
And welcome back. It's the 345 Mixtape Show, man. If you're just tuning in, you out of luck, man, because we about to sign off in like a couple of minutes, man. But today has been, wow.
Informative.
Yeah, very informative, very
Such a-
heavy topic, very
Quite informational,
yeah,
if I must.
Touching.
wow, okay, yeah, so yeah.
It's been deep. It's been deep.
It's very
Deep.
deep. Very deep, very
Deep
deep.
out.
So,
We
Let's
tou-
dig
we
our
we
way out of this
touched on
hole.
why is
domestic
everybody
violence,
talking at the
guys.
same time?
Let's dig ourselves out this hole and shed some light on some events that have been occurring in Cayman.
Wait. Tracy was saying something.
What were you saying, Tree?
Sorry,
Oh
my
no,
bad.
I was just updating those guests who just tuned in that we were talking deeply about domestic violence
Yes.
and the xxxtentacion.
Tentacles.
You just
Uh,
you just
Just call
butchered
him,
his.
just call him Jesse.
Just call.
Can
alright,
I just
Josh.
can I just say
Go
my,
ahead.
my 2-minute theory or
Go
less than that? Because he was so spiritual or whatever and like sacrificial and whatever, blah blah blah. There's 3 areas, right? So there was his artistry, his person, and his depression. And that is his trilogy. You guys can think about that.
Okay,
His artistry,
His person,
his person,
and his depression.
cool. So,
Chew on that.
if you guys have been keeping up with the news lately, there have been reoccurring car accidents in Grand Cayman.
I don't know what's going on.
Listen.
Y'all need to drive proper,
Y'all need to
I
use
s-
your indicators, man.
I saw
Please.
someone post up.
man.
Someone posted up saying this caption, right? It was like, yeah, I know why the accidents are happening. Because I'm trying to make it on 360 Cayman. If you don't know where 360 Cayman is, it's the
Yeah, it's the web.
quickest news outlet
Listen
going
to
on
me,
right
man.
now.
Listen to
For
me.
accident.
Listen to
I
me. Y'all
swear.
saw that? Y'all saw that accident that happened out on Waterfront where
Yeah,
that
with the
car,
whole
that
tourist car.
just like,
Whole
yo,
car.
listen, they fixed that wall already.
Really?
That wall is
What?
fixed and painted.
What?
I drove past it. I was like, wait,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
that have like a huge hole in it?
No
Yo,
way.
listen, guy, listen. They put up new boards.
They
They
Fortnite
painted that the same. They just
That literally is the district of tourists. Like,
Fortnite.
listen to me, man. I knew they wasn't gonna keep that broken long though. Stuff like that on the
Nah, that's not
waterfront.
true. That time when that Honda
Yeah, that
I wanna
broke-
say
that-
attacked the
Literally, the same place. The
but
same
right across
place.
from it literally attacked and went under the
The
building.
house, yeah.
And that was
It just like boarded. It just like someone slapped 2 wood on it and then pause and you know just and just just plastered some wood there. It not even renovated like that. It don't even look good. It look tacky. But yeah, and by the way, that was a stolen vehicle. Just to let you know.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a
Wow.
16 and 17-year-old without a license,
Who crashed it?
Wow.
which is why they ran away.
Wow. But listen, man, for real though,
Didn't
for
get
real,
far
y'all need to drive safe on these
Yeah,
roads, man.
definitely.
Like, there's too many. Listen, I don't need to be going to work in the morning.
What we need
And
to do is
hold
start
up, Mason, hold up, cause we live live far, okay? I'm not gonna say where we live. we live far, okay? Yeah. I don't need no people coming up on these roads and causing an accident, and then when I leave my house at 7:30, it's like the days that I'm late. People decide to get in an accident, and I get to work at 8:45,
Well, guess
and then
what?
I gotta deduct 15 minutes from my lunchtime.
Guess what? Wake up earlier. There you go.
You know what we need to start doing? Be like Singapore. Brought bicycles everywhere.
Listen, man.
Yeah,
Listen,
and
he's
then
not
you can
lying. That's a
swoop off
theory.
that bicycle.
Listen. I see these guys. They on these motorized bicycles, fam.
Yeah.
That's the future, guys.
Everything is hard, but
Yo, man, them like, and they don't even need a license because it's a bicycle,
Yep.
but they just put like a little motor on it,
Yep.
and these man just be driving. And they have on suit and tie
Yep.
and everything.
I know exactly
And
what
then
you
they look
mean,
at you
yep.
and they like, yeah, but
Yeah,
I don't need no license for this.
AC free.
Oh my God! No, this 90 degrees weather.
No, boy, listen. When they drive, when they buck in though, that breeze be hitting your face.
Till that humidity lick you too.
Yeah.
Slap you off that bike, boy. Let me tell you.
Oh man.
But yeah, there was like 3 accidents alone today. Just today.
And then 2 yesterday.
Listen, there's probably been like over 100 accidents in the last 2
There's
months.
been accidents almost every day. I say almost because there was like literally a 2-day break, but after that 360 was
Back
Posing
at it
back
again.
to back.
Back
Literally.
at it again with the
There
accident.
was a whole car in Boston Town that flipped.
A whole car?
Yeah, by the fish fry place in BT.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
over the weekend.
Yeah, it was on the top of CRV.
Not corners.
And
Guys,
here's the thing,
the
it's like a
CRV
trend with CRVs.
Hold on,
Because
Guys.
today was a CRV accident and yesterday
the
it was too.
CRV. Listen, guys, if you hear an emergency response vehicle coming, please get out of the way. Please.
That's true. I seen a whole
Please.
car stop in the middle of the intersection, try and make an
Come on,
ambulance
man.
pass. No
Don't
space.
try to beat it.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
And guys, this segment is brought to you by Please Drive Safe. Hashtag.
Oh
I just
my
made that,
gosh.
Please.
on the spot.
Hashtag drive safe, K-Man.
And the license department, please start giving licenses to people. You just
Please,
handing them out at
get
this
a
point.
little stricker.
Yeah, we need up that test a
Cops,
little bit.
please
Make
keep
that a
your
little
eyes
harder.
out.
Yeah.
Make that a
Undercover
little harder.
cops, please keep your eyes out for those that don't use their indicators and just ticket them for me.
Please.
Oh
Actually,
my
no,
gosh.
because sometimes I don't use my
No,
indicator.
use
so-
your-
Well, yeah, get ticketed, Gerald. Get ticketed.
Saves lives.
Oh
I
my gosh.
swear.
But anyways, guys, that's it for us, man.
You wanna
Yeah.
go bar
Yeah.
roll on
What?
this?
What you say, Mason?
I said he said to make the test stricter. I said, well, he wanted to do a bar roll on it. He wanted to drip around the ball to be safe. Like,
Oh my god.
they
Listen,
give
man.
you the basics and then you go.
Yo, you know that the pharmacy ValueMed that opened up, and then there's like that the gravel road that's
Oh,
before
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Listen, man, one of my brother's friends lives down there. When I'm turning into there, I drift on that gravel. I go,
Yeah,
oh,
because all you
man,
need to just push a little gas in your body.
yeah, it's fun, but then I'm like, let me
Lot are you
stop
just
before.
going too fast?
They give you the basics. and then it's just
Let
like,
me
that's smart.
listen,
Yeah.
man. Listen,
Obviously,
don't
the
be.
basics for Caymanians that come here, not only Caymanians, Xbox as well. Okay, obviously isn't enough because they are out here crashing.
Left, right, and
Which
center.
make no sense. Well, we don't have a lot of road to test people on.
Listen, this
So
time.
I don't know what you
Take
want.
them, Westby.
You got
And-
that, bro.
This
And a
not
lot
rocking
of the
it.
tourists who are coming, they're used to driving on the right
Opposite,
side of the
I feel like-
road, and they only drive with like I think on the right hand steering wheel. They don't have the 2-hand drive like we do.
Listen.
Call adaption.
I feel
We have
like
roads.
I feel
okay?
like a lot
It's
of
not
these
rock.
accidents that happen, a lot like I would say like 50% of them involve tourists. Am I wrong or am I
Man,
right?
can't drive
You're
dog.
I
kinda
mean, there was
wrong,
just
to
a
be honest.
whole shock that just got taken out by a tourist vehicle.
No, I mean like a lot of them happen with tourists involved.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
man, them can't drive.
Well,
the car
there's
anymore.
that as well as they don't use their indicators.
Listen, man, a lot of these
Indicators.
people don't know how to use
Please.
roundabouts. They be in the right lane and going left.
Listen. The
That's
problem
true.
That vex me, boy.
It's not even a big problem with
Oh my
indicators.
gosh.
It's people
It is.
driving on people born. Okay, that is the problem here.
Nah,
that
That's
is
true.
very
When
much true.
indicators
That's
don't
true.
turn on, you hit them because you're 5 feet away from
That
them.
is. Listen, I saw
That's
these guys
not-
speeding down the road, and they're just like, man, I'm just so close. I'm like, yo, why you so close? So close? Nah, bro, nah.
They
And-
cruise in with their foot on brakes.
anyways, that's it for us, man. We gonna sign off right now.
Yeah,
Don't
we'll
forget
sign
to
off.
use your indicators.
Don't forget to use your indicators.
Don't forget
Hashtag drive safe,
Well,
K-Man.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? It's your boy. I am Jeru, as
It's your
always.
boy, I am Tian till we live, and make sure to tune in again next week,
You
Wednesday.
taking
Who
my
else we
voice,
up in
man?
here?
It's Tracy, baby.
KG.Malley.
Although my presence wasn't strong, it's my Mason.
Ooh. Nah, man, don't worry, man. You tall, so your presence is always strong.
And that will be all for this week. Make sure to tune in next week at 7 p.m.
That's all,
The
folks.
345 Mixtape Show. And have a great night. Be safe.
3, 4, 5.